Hello and welcome to EC Electronics. So in this video, we are going to discuss about decimation and interpolation. These two topics are very important topics in the module 6 of DSP. There is, you'll be facing a lot of numerical questions and theory questions from this area. So we'll be discussing about decimation and interpolation, and also we'll be seeing what is downsampling and upsampling. Okay. So let us discuss about decimation and interpolation in detail. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about decimation and interpolation. It is a very important topic in DSP exams. Numerical questions and also theory questions can come for mostly all DSP exams. Okay. So we are going to see about these two things in detail today. Now there are two types of sampling systems. Sampling systems can be classified as two types mainly. It can be of single rate, that is single rate sampling systems, or multi-rate sampling systems. Means this type of systems are having more than one sampling rate. Okay. Now the two basic operations we do for performing multi-rate sampling is downsampling and upsampling. Downsampling means simply reducing the rate of sampling, whereas upsampling means we increase the rate of sampling or we increase the number of samples. In downsampling, what we are doing is we are going to reduce the number of samples from the original data, whereas in upsampling we will be providing some additional zeros and we will be increasing the data count or the sample count. Okay, so that is the two basic operations which we are performing in the downsampling and upsampling. Okay, so first we are going to see about downsampling, and while discussing downsampling, we'll be seeing that how this downsampling is related to decimation, and then we'll be discussing about upsampling, and we'll also discuss how it is connected to the interpolation. Okay, so first we are going to see about downsampling, then we'll be seeing about upsampling. Okay, so let us discuss about the first topic, which is downsampling. Okay, so downsampling means we are going to reduce the number of samples or we are going to reduce the sampling rate. Now consider that x of n is your input data and y of n is your output data, and if we are performing downsampling means we are going to write y of n equal to x of m n. Okay, where m is the downsampling rate. Okay, so we are going to take only every mth sample from this x of n. This x of n is having originally n number of samples, but when we are going to produce an output from this y of n by performing downsampling, we are going to take only every mth data and its multiples. Okay, we'll do a very small example and then we'll be saying while performing this example, you will get to know the concept of downsampling. Okay, now consider that your x of n is equal to set 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, minus 2, 3 and 5. So this is your x of n data. Consider that your m, that is downsampling rate, is equal to 2. Means here you are going to take every second sample. So the data is given like this: 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, minus 2, 3 and 5. This is the data. Now I'm going to give the position values is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so these are the position values which I have written below it. So if the downsampling rate is 2, means you have to take the all multiples of 2. Okay, so first is 0, we'll take that data, then the next multiple of 2 is 2. After that 4 is again a multiple of 2, then 6, then 8. Okay, so we are going to take all the multiples of 2. That is, we are going to see the positions, and which all positions are coming as multiples of 2, we are going to pick that data. So here your y of n is equal to x of 2n, since m value is equal to 2, and that will be equal to, for the 0th position the data is 1, for the position 2 the data is 4, for the position 4 the data is 7, for position 6 the data is -2, and lastly 8 the data is 5. So this will be your downsampled signal or your output. Okay, or simply you can consider in this way also. You are going to ignore the m-1 samples in between. Okay, so here m-1 means 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So you are going to take the first data, then you are going to ignore m-1 samples, means you are going to ignore one data. So this you will be ignoring, then you will take the next one. Again you are going to ignore m-1, means here it is 1. So you are going to ignore this 6, then take 7, then ignore again m-1. So this will be, that will be 9 you are going to ignore, then -2 you will be taking, 3 you will be ignoring, 5 you will be taking. Okay, so likewise also you can consider. Okay, you can think it of in either of two ways. That is, one way is you are going to pick all multiples of m's. Okay, here m is 2 means you are going to take all multiples of 2. First you will be taking the initial value, the 0th position value, which is 1. Then you are going to pick all the 2's multiple values. Here these are the position values 2, 4, 6, 8. These are the multiples of 2, and that data corresponding to these position values you are going to take. Okay, so that is one way of considering, or you can think of ignoring of m-1 datas in between the samples. Okay, so these are the ways in which you can interpret downsampling. And if you are going to represent downsampling like a block diagram, it will be like this. X of n will be your input, then there is a block which is going to perform downsampling by m. Since it is downsampling, we'll be marking the arrow downwards, then you'll be getting y of n. Okay, so this is a very simple representation of the downsampling as a block. Okay, now let us see how the spectrum of this downsampling is looking like. Okay, so here x of n is there, then there is a downsampling block, and then your y of n. Now consider that your initial signal is like this. Its spectrum 0 and at 2 pi. This is the lower frequency. This is the higher frequency. And again, this is the low frequency. So this is the spectrum of your original signal. Now in downsampling, what we are going to do is we are going to ignore some of the samples from your original x of n. Some of the samples in between two samples is going to be ignored, right? So due to this ignoring, or due to the taking away of the samples in between, what happens is that the higher frequency components will combine or overlap with the lower frequency components. And due to this process, a very famous phenomena is happening, which is called aliasing. Okay, so due to downsampling of the spectrum, first of all, some of the samples we are going to ignore, or some of the samples we are going to take away. Okay, so due to this, what happens is that it will cause aliasing, or the merging of the higher frequency components with the lower frequency components, and your spectrum of the resultant or your output will look like this. Okay, higher frequency will combine with the lower frequency. Okay. Yeah, so this portion is called aliasing, or the merging of the higher frequency and the lower frequency part. So this corresponds to the aliasing. Okay. So this is one problem of downsampling, means it causes aliasing. And in order to avoid aliasing, we are going to use a filter, which is a low pass filter, which is called anti-aliasing filter. And before giving the data for downsampling, we are going to first band limit our input data to avoid aliasing. Okay, so this block will be looking like this with the presence of a anti-aliasing filter. So first you are going to pass your input signal through the filter, which is a anti-aliasing filter. Then you will be giving your data to the downsampler. Then you will be getting your Y of n. Okay. And the frequency cara of this anti-aliasing filter will be like this, minus pi by m to pi by m. So the purpose of this anti-aliasing filter is to band limit your original signal to minus pi by m plus pi by m. Okay. So first your signal, which is your x of n, is going to be band limited within this range, and then only it is being passed through the downsampler. So when we are performing this operation or this action, our signal is going to be band limited, and then this aliasing won't be occurring. Okay. So since we are going to band limit our signal, the process of aliasing will not be happening while the downsampling is being performed. Okay. So that is the advantage of using a anti-aliasing filter. And together with this anti-aliasing filter plus this downsampling block will give you the process of decimation. So together these two processes will give you decimation. Okay, so this is called decimation. This is simply downsampling. So anti-aliasing plus downsampling is called decimation. Okay. Now we are going to see the frequency response of your downsampling or the downsampled signal. Okay. So y of n is equal to x of mn, where m is the downsampling rate. Now let us try to write the Z transform of this signal. So you'll get y of z equal to 1 by m sigma k equal to 0 to m minus 1 x of e raised to minus j 2 pi k by m into z raised to 1 by m. So you are going to give this to the Z transform function and you will be getting an equation like this. Okay. Now put z is equal to e raised to j omega. We are going to write it in the Fourier domain. Okay. So z is equal to e raised to j omega. You will be getting y of e raised to j omega equal to 1 by m sigma k equal to 0 to m minus 1 x of e raised to minus j 2 pi k by m into, here we are going to put e raised to j omega. So e raised to j omega by m you will be getting. Okay. So there is already a term here, and in terms of z you have put e raised to j omega. So e raised to j omega by m. So now these two terms together you can write 1 by m sigma k equal to 0 to m minus 1 x of e raised to, you are going to take a j is common, then omega minus 2 pi k by, again m is common. So this will be the frequency response for your downsampled signal. That is y of e raised to j omega response will be like this. Okay. So y of e raised to j omega equal to 1 by m sigma k equal to 0 to m minus 1 x of e raised to j omega minus 2 pi k by capital M will be the frequency response for your downsampled signal. Okay, so that's all about downsampling and decimation. Now we are going to see about upsampling and interpolation. So the next topic that we are going to see is upsampling. So we'll be seeing upsampling with the help of an example. So upsampling means it is the process of increasing the number of samples or the sampling rate. Okay. So consider that your input x of n is equal to set 1, 2, 4, 3, minus 2. So this is your input set. And you're going to upsample this x of n, and upsampling is represented as y of n equal to x of n by L. Okay. So this is the way of representation of your upsampling, where L is the upsampling factor. Consider that your upsampling factor L is equal to 2 here. So if the upsampling factor is L, we are going to add L minus 1 number of zeros in between all the samples. So that's how you increase the number of samples, by putting off zeros in between the samples. Okay. So in upsampling, what we actually do is we increase the sampling rate by a factor of L, if L is the upsampling rate, by adding off L minus 1 equally spaced zeros in between the original samples. Okay. So here L is 2, L minus 1 will be equal to 2 minus 1, which is 1. So you have to put 1 0 between all the samples. So your y of n will be, first take the initial data, which is 1. 1 you will be writing as it is, then put a 0, then 2, then put a 0, 4, 0, 3, 0 and minus 2. So you have increased the number of samples by placing of L minus 1 number of zeros in between all the samples. Okay. So here since L is 2, L minus 1 is 1. So only 1 0. If L is 3 means L minus 1 is 2. You have to put 2 zeros. Okay. In between all the samples. So that is the simple process of upsampling. Why I am giving examples? Because in some question papers, you can see that this type of data sets will be given to you. You will be asked to perform either upsampling or downsampling. So in that case, you have to perform this operation, and also we have explained an example in upsampling. So that type of problems also you will be facing. Okay. So this is how you will be performing upsampling, and the upsampling equation y of n, as I said, it is equal to x of n by L. Okay. For n equal to 0 plus or minus L plus or minus 12 likewise, and 0 otherwise. So you are going to simply insert zeros in between the number of samples, original number of samples. Okay. So that's all about upsampling. Now let us see the spectrum. So this is the basic working, or this is the thing happening in upsampling. Now if you represent like a block, you can draw it like this. X of n is your input, y of n is the output, and you're going to increase the number of samples. So it is upward, arrow is upwards. And if the upsampling factor is L, means it is given here. Okay. So this is the simple way of representing a upsampling block. Now, if you draw the spectrum of this upsampling, so your original input spectrum will be like this: 0, then here it is 2 pi. Okay. So this is your original spectrum. And in upsampling, what you are going to perform, in downsampling, you have taken away some samples. So what happened in downsampling, since we have taken some samples, some spectrum, that is spectrum higher frequency and lower frequency had combined or merged. And due to that, we had the problem of aliasing, right? So here we are not going to take away any samples, and simply we are going to insert some samples. Even if you put zeros, that is also samples, right? So we are going to increase the number of samples, right? So if L is the upsampling factor, we are going to add L minus 1 number of zeros. So in between two samples, you will be having L minus 1 number of new samples, and these we call them as images. We will be getting L minus 1 images. Okay. So due to this, there is a problem happening which is called creating of images, and to avoid this, we use a anti-image filter at the output of the downsampling block. Okay, so there will be some images created in the spectrum. And due to this, in order to avoid this problem, we'll be adding a anti-image filter or anti-imaging filter. Okay, at the output of the upsampling block. So x of n is your input, which will be passing through the upsampling block. Then we have to remove the images which are actually created due to this adding of L-1 zeros. Okay, so this images we are going to remove with the help of an anti-imaging filter. Okay, so that's the process of upsampling, and together these two blocks, that is an anti-imaging filter and the upsampling block, will give you interpolation. Okay, so interpolation is nothing but two blocks combined, that is upsampling block and anti-imaging filter together is the upsampling, sorry, it is called the interpolation. Okay, and if you want to write the frequency spectrum equation for, or the frequency domain equation for your output, y of e raised to j omega will be x of e raised to j omega L. Okay, so that's all about interpolation. Okay, so this was a quick revision of decimation and interpolation. So we have discussed about what all processes are happening in decimation and interpolation. That is, we have mainly discussed about the upsampling and downsampling. We have drawn the spectrums, and also we have discussed about the concepts of decimation and interpolation also. Okay, so this is all about decimation and interpolation, and this much you require for your DSP examinations. Okay, as I said while explaining that either you will be asked some theory questions or you will be given some data sets. In that you have to perform upsampling or downsampling. Okay, so for that purpose I have explained some examples while explaining the upsampling and downsampling, how to take away the samples and how to insert the zeros, that is L-1 number of zeros. So you can brief upsampling and downsampling as upsampling means here we are going to increase the number of samples, whereas in downsampling we will be reducing the number of samples or the sampling rate. Okay, and downsampling block plus the anti-aliasing filter will be called the process of decimation, whereas interpolation means upsampling plus anti-imaging filter. So the images are created since we are going to increase the number of samples in between two samples by L-1 number. There will be some images created. Actually, there will be L-1 number of images created, and we don't want these images in our output. That is our total output y of n. So we will filter this output by using an anti-imaging filter. Okay, so these two processes will constitute the interpolation. So I am hoping that you understood the topic of interpolation and decimation. So if yes, please do give it a thumbs up and also share with your friends. And if you want more videos, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and keep on watching.